video, I'm going to talk about the second example, the advanced adding and subtracting the rational expressions. And the question is y over 2y plus 1 times y minus 7. All of that plus 2y squared over 2y minus 3 times y minus 7. And using this for solving these rational expressions, we know the properties of fractions, that if there is a fraction a over b plus c over d, in order to make it into common denominator to simplify, we can just multiply together. So we were going to be a over bd, but since we multiply d in the denominator, we also need to multiply in the numerator, so that if we cancel the numerator and denominator, so we can get into the original equation. And for the c and d, we're going to do a bd, but since we multiply b to the denominator, we also need to multiply b to the numerator either. So let's apply these properties to this question. So it says y, so y in the numerator, that is equal to y, all of that over, so 2y plus 1, y minus 7. In order to simplify it, we need to make it into common denominator. If you look at the denominator, the y minus 7, it is a common term that both denominators have. So we can just multiply 2y minus 3 into this expression. We can multiply 2y plus 1 into this expression. So 2y plus 1 multiplied by y minus 7 multiplied by 2y minus 3. So 2y minus 3, but since we multiplied 2y minus 3 in the denominator, we also need to multiply the 2y minus 3 in the numerator. And all of that plus, so 2y squared over 2y minus 3 times y minus 7 times 2y plus 1. So 2y plus 1, and the denominator of this first term and this second term are going to be same, and then we can simplify. And since we multiply 2y plus 1 in the denominator, we also need to multiply 2y plus 1 in the numerator to give the equal fraction. So if let's simplify, and the denominator will just going to be equal, so we're going to be 2y plus 1 times y minus 7 times 2y minus 3. And then over, when we can use this 3 proper in order to simplify, in order to remove this parenthesis, we're going to be y times 2y, we're going to be 2y squared, times y times minus 3, we're going to be negative 3y, and it is plus, we need to see this sign, and plus 2y squared times 2y will just going to be positive 4y to the third power, plus 2y squared plus 1 will just going to be positive 2y squared, and we can simplify this expression. And we need to remember that we can only simplify the terms that are like terms. So let's simplify this equal to, let me copy this denominator because it will just going to be equal. So denominator in the numerator, so in the numerator 2y squared, either a term that contains 2y squared, there is it also 2y squared. 2y squared plus 2y squared will just going to be 4y squared plus 4y to the third power plus 4y to the third power. There is no term that contains y to the third power, so that's why I've just wrote it. Minus 3y. Minus 3y. And we have finished simplifying this expression right over here. And this was the second example of simplifying, adding and subtracting this advanced rational expression. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the third example of simplifying rational expressions.